well, and another 2 hours of scrubbing the non-skid with rubbing compound, 400, 1,000, 2,000 grit sandpaper consecutively. And I had to go to the store and buy another can of McGuire machine cleaner wax. The cleaner wax has a wax in it, also has a little bit of abrasive to take those swirl marks out. I hand rubbed the boat, did not use a buffer. Probably could have got our glitter a little bit more if I'd used a buffer. I think you can see the glitter from the sun here without having to look very hard. The Ghost came with full-length cockpit hiking straps. You put your feet under them. Also gives you, if the boat heels over unexpectedly, you can grab onto it and pull yourself into the center line. The new Ghost, after 73, had a forward footwell so that 2 people could sit in front of the mast. That's the mast step right there, that little silver. Yeah, we'll zoom in on that. Okay, but the mast is a rotating mast, believe it or not. Okay, what's really comfortable on this boat is to sit in the front end and lay your arms up on that spray rail. The Ghost is different than most boats, 13 feet long. You sit in the boat rather than sitting on top of it, and it's 60 inches wide, which is quite a bit wider than the Sunfisher Laser, even though the boat's a little bit shorter. Okay, this floor is wide enough to lay down on. The floor, as you can see in the bailer hole here, the floor of the boat that you stand on is actually above the bottom of the boat. This allows the water to drain into the drain hole, and then there's a hold Allen automatic bailer. The bailer pulls the water out. I still got a little buffing to do here, so bear on the floor. I went back and sanded some scratches I saw. But the nice thing on the Ghost was the gel coat was put on thick, and it was put on with a flexibilizer so that it didn't crack. So you very seldom see hairline cracks in gel coat on a Ghost. Okay, the entire hull under the seats in the back and under the front is all, and under the floor is all watertight. The boat sits above the dock, so you can just overhang the deck and step over onto the dock. You don't have to walk across the deck to get in the cockpit. You know, real neat looking bug right there. Okay, yep. As you can see, now that my wax is dried, I've still got to do some buffing out on the floor. Now let's take a look at it from the back end. Okay, that is a pretty boat. Ghost is one of the sharpest looking boats at the dock there is. It really sits on the water. Kind of looks like it's sitting on the water rather than sitting in it, because it only weighs 160 pounds. The next video, we're going to put her in the water with a new Ghost owner, and we're going to go sailing, and then we're also going to come out on a really windy day and demonstrate the planing capabilities of the boat, which are pretty phenomenal. And then we're going to go out on a light wind day and harass the J24s and Highlanders that sail with me at Eagle Creek, which is about a mile from here. Total time involved, if you don't count going to the store, about 4 hours to do the whole boat. I still got a half hour worth of work I want to do on it, but The fittings buffed up and look pretty good. Those are hold Allen jib sheet leads. Okay, now when you sit in the boat, I always keep one foot under that hiking strap. When the boat tries to go over, you just got your foot out there and you can pull yourself back in. The centerboard trunk is, you can walk around it and you can actually sit there if you don't mind your feet not facing sideways. But the cockpit is 9 feet long. The factory rating on the boat calls for capacity, if you see down the bottom there, 4 people. We used to run a sailing school with this boat, and we would put 5 in it for the classes. And of course, we made sure everybody had life jackets. That was a lot of life jackets. If you want to know what year your boat was made, and it was made after 1973, you go to the transom. And embedded in the gel coat are the numbers, the last 2 numbers, the year of manufacture. This was the 3rd boat made in, or excuse me, this boat was made on the 3rd month of 1974. Beware of buying boats that were made in the middle of 74 or later. There was a resin shortage, and the factories used any resin they can get a hold of, and there were a lot of boats that were built at that time that were really lousy. Gel coat crazing, cracking, discoloration, gel coat put on real thin. Half the weight of the resin is in oil, and the Arabs embargoed the oil, so be aware when you see a 1974, kind of look around for a lot of crazing and bad gel coat. This boat was built before that by Janus Plastics. Before 1973, they weren't required to put that tag in the mold so that it would show. Well, next project. Oh, one last shot of that beautiful gloss there from the cockpit. Let's zoom in on that for the fun of it. Oh, ain't that pretty. Okay, this ought to keep you around our step long enough to wait till I get my sailing video started. There's one other thing. I'm gonna go back in my garage. I've been a certified windsurfing instructor since 1974, and I've got 3 windsurfers I bought for practically nothing that were near brand new condition. We're going to be teaching windsurfing out at our... Let me zoom out a little so that focuses better. Okay, let's try that. Windsurfer. I'm going to do another video on windsurfers, but we're putting that off for a couple weeks. Video on how to windsurf. Been taught over 100 people how to windsurf now. Well, last year we ran a class through the Free University. They ran over 1,000 students through it one year in 1984 and 1985. Well, there are a lot of memories stacked up on the wall in my garage right here.